The critical election year is upon us, and like we've mentioned before, everybody get out and vote. It's so important, especially this year. I'm joined right now by your Clerk of Courts candidate, Stuart Kessler. Stuart, thank you for being with me this morning.
Good morning, Jen. I'm happy to be here.
All right, Stuart, can you tell our viewers what exactly is Clerk of Courts?
You know, that's a great question because I don't know how many people really understand how big this job really is. You know, if you look on the Florida Clerk of Courts website, they say that the clerk has 926 different functions. But the main thing that they do is support the court system in all the functions. In civil, which is lawsuits, and criminal, you get your marriage license from the clerk. The clerk handles the jury. That you pay your traffic tickets to the Clerk of Courts. The other side of the Clerk of Courts job as well is that they become the treasurer of the county. So all the tax money is paid to the clerk, and the clerk actually writes the checks. And that's a very important job because the clerk is the last person who can say no to an expenditure if the expenditure isn't legal for whatever reason, whether it wasn't properly passed or properly budgeted or whatever the problem is. And of course, the clerk has become very well known, my predecessor, hopefully my predecessor, Danny Coledge, as being a very good watchdog of the public funds and using that power very effectively in behalf of the public.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now why are you running for this position, Stuart?
Well, you know, I have been, for the last 20 years, a volunteer. I've never, not being paid, as a person watching out for the public funds. As a matter of fact, right now, Jenna, I am the chairman of the school district's Audit and Finance Committee. And if anybody reads the newspapers or follows local politics, you know how many challenges there are at the school district.
A lot.
And you know, it's not a popular thing to be the person who has to say no. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I go to a school board meeting, I have to tell them about something that's happening that isn't right. You know, nobody will talk to me. But, you know, I have determined as a volunteer that the ability to say no and the ability to do the right thing is the most important thing that I can do. And I think that I'm the right person for this job because I've shown that I have the courage and the fortitude to say no when it's necessary. And again, like I said, that's one of the critical jobs of the Clerk of Courts. And I'm not doing it, and I haven't done this as a paid bureaucrat. I have been willing to take the heat and been willing to say no as a volunteer. So the people who vote know what they're going to get when they see me, because if I'm willing to take it as a volunteer, you know that if I have the position, I'll act the same way.
Okay. Now, you just mentioned that you are on the School Board Audit and Finance Committee. What else is in your background, Stuart?
Well, several things. Before that, I was the administrator of the Child Support Enforcement Office for the Florida Department of Revenue for Monroe County. And in that capacity, I administered about 2,500 legal cases where we pursued child support and paternity on behalf of parents. So in that capacity, I became very aware of the court system and how it operates in Monroe County. As a matter of fact, one of the clerk functions, again, talking about this, is that they collect child support. The actual money that's paid in is not paid to child support enforcement, it's paid to the clerk, and the clerk actually disperses that money as well. That's another function of the clerk. So I have a good relationship with that as well. The other thing that I did here in Monroe County is I worked in risk management for the county. Again, when I first got here in 2005 and 4, and that's when I first became familiar with the clerk's office and Danny Coledge in particular, because when I saw issues and problems with county government, which I did unfortunately, and people need to understand that there is a real need to watch things carefully. Unfortunately, things do not run as well as you would like. It's the best way I can state it. And but Danny Coledge, when there was something going wrong, Danny Coledge and the Clerk of Court's office was always there to step in and do the right thing. And I started to admire Danny Coledge in that capacity. And when I saw that he was going to retire, I said, it's extremely critical that they get somebody like Danny to replace him in that office that'll be the same kind of watchdog.
Okay. What would be your goals if you were to be elected to this position, Stuart?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, Jenna, the wonderful thing about running for office in this county is I've been up and down the Keys, and from Key Largo, Tavernier, Isla Mirada, Key West, Big Pine, Marathon, and I ask people, what do they want in the Clerk of Courts? And there's a lot of different answers, but the one answer I get from everybody is says, will you do as good of a job as Danny Coledge? And so my main goal is to continue that tradition of doing the right thing, no matter what the political heat is, and doing the good thing for the citizens of Monroe County. And that would be my goal, my main goal.
So integrity is very
Integrity and the ability to do what the right thing is regardless of the political pressure. Sometimes political pressure can become quite significant in this county. So.
Okay. And Stuart, you do have a primary, correct? So people need to vote for you in August.
Yes, and it may, depending on how the qualifying goes, it may be, the election very well may not go to November. So it may be decided that the August primary could become the deciding race for the.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stuart, for being with me this morning and for sharing all of this with our viewers.
Well, thank you so much, Jenna. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break, but I'll be back with our Supervisor of Elections candidate, Joyce Griffin. Stay with me.